Hello, my friend, and welcome to Wisdom Trek. This is Guthrie Chamberlain, and I'm your guide to wisdom and creating a living legacy. Starting today, we begin our second year of Wisdom Trek, and we will be making some changes to the frequency and the format of Wisdom Trek. First, we've decided to create 3 themed treks per week, which is Motivation Monday, Wisdom Wednesday, and Philosophy Friday. Each day we will trek approximately 12 minutes in length, so slightly longer, but still easy to listen to in one session. So let's get started, and thank you for joining us for our 3-day-a-week 12 Minutes of Wisdom podcast. This is day 367 of our trek, and today will be our Wisdom Wednesday episode as we continue with our study in Proverbs starting with chapter 11. We are broadcasting from our studios at the Big House in Marietta, Ohio. I continue on cleaning the woodwork and just finished the upstairs hallway. I will work my way down both stairwells and then begin with the downstairs foyer and hallway. I was able to stain the 2 2-foot gliders on Monday and plan on putting a coat of polyurethane on them this week as the weather permits. We are also in the process of moving furniture back into the parlor since we have allowed the floors to dry for the last couple of weeks. Outside the home, the hawks that we have had the joy of watching each day continue to shuttle food to the nest to keep up with the voracious appetites of the growing chicks. From what I can tell, there are 2 chicks and they are growing rapidly, but it'll still be a little while before they take flight. Speaking of that, it is now time to head out on our trek for today as we hike up Wisdom Trail in search of the nuggets of wisdom found in the first half of the 11th chapter of Proverbs. And today's lesson is called Honesty is Always the Best Policy. So let's get started with verse number 1. The Lord detests the use of dishonest scales, but He delights in accurate weights. Any type of dishonesty should not be part of our lives, even in the smallest of areas. This is especially true in the business world, where less scrupulous vendors would alter the scales to weigh heavier so that they could cheat the customer. Verse number 2. Pride leads to disgrace, but with humility comes wisdom. Pride is such a nasty character trait, and yet all of us fall prey in some areas of our life. As we become comfortable with who we truly are, while remaining humble, we will gain wisdom, insight, and understanding. Verse number 3. Honesty guides good people. Dishonesty destroys treacherous people. Honesty is always the best policy, and it will guide our lives on the trail that is true and solid, just like a compass or GPS can guide us on our hike. Those who do practice dishonesty will be destroyed by those habits because they are all wrapped up in the treacherous cycle of one lie upon another. Verse number 4. Riches don't help in the day of judgment, but right living can save you from death. We would do well to understand that material things, including money, are just tools to impact our world positively. We will not take any of it with us when we die. On the other hand, as we do use our resources to impact others, then even once we do die, our impact will live on through the lives of others. The godly are directed by honesty, the wicked fall beneath their load of sin. If we choose to live according to God's precepts, then honesty will be our trail map taking us to higher and higher summits. In contrast to that, dishonesty and other weaknesses are like a huge millstone around our necks, always dragging us down. Verse number 6. The godliness of good people rescue them. The ambition of treacherous people traps them. When you choose to do what is good, then you will have no fear of harm, and you will be rescued from or spared from negative consequences. As a treacherous person cannot be trusted because they are unfaithful and are prone to double-crossing those that are around them. Verse number 7. When the wicked die, their hopes die with them, for they rely on their own feeble strength. Those who do not create and live a positive, impactful legacy will not have the hope of future generations to carry on their legacy. The wicked feel that their success will carry them on, but no one has any strength when they die. It is only through the lives of others can our lives remain once we do die. Verse number 8. The godly are rescued from trouble, and it falls on the wicked instead. Because the godly are also wise, the choices that they make each day are wise choices, and it prevents them from making choices that are harmful. The wicked, on the other hand, are unwise. The choices that they make are foolish and causes them trouble. Verse number 9. With their words the godless destroy their friends, but knowledge will rescue the righteous. The power of life and death are in the tongue, and those who do not have a regard for God will choose to say things that wound others. Contrasting that, as you gain the right knowledge, you will learn to filter your words that may be harmful to others. Verse number 10. The whole city celebrates when the godly succeed, but they shout for joy when the wicked die. All of us like to support those who treat us and others with kindness and respect, and we do celebrate those individuals when they succeed. There is a different type of celebration when the wicked die. It is joyous, but because there is no longer a threat by the wicked. Verse number 11. Upright citizens are good for a city and make it prosper, but the talk of the wicked tears it apart. Citizens who have integrity will make sure that everyone benefits from their pursuit of success. All boats do rise with the tide. Contrary to that are those who tried to succeed by the demise of others. It will harm everyone who is involved. Verse number 12. It is foolish to belittle one's neighbor. A sensible person keeps quiet. As is mentioned in several of the Proverbs, people who are foolish show their foolishness by talking too much. In doing so, they inevitably end up hurting others with their dismissive talk. A person who is wise and sensible will refrain from talking, especially when it's not necessary. Verse number 13. The gossip goes around telling secret, but those who are trustworthy keep a confidence. A person who loves to talk will also be a person who gossips about others. In doing so, they do not have the discernment of when not to share the secrets of others, even their friends. Someone who is worthy of trust can be counted on not to break the confidence of anyone else. Verse number 14. Without wise leadership, a nation falls. There is safety in having many advisors. Regardless of whether it is a family, a business, or an entire country, if the leaders are not wise, then it will be destroyed from within. That is why it is good in all situations to take the advice of those who are wise and discerning. Verse number 15. There's danger in putting up security for a stranger's debt. It is safer not to guarantee another person's debt. Even borrowing for yourself is usually not a good idea. We justify all sorts of reasons that we should buy something, but it would be best if we do not borrow money and live within our means. It is completely risky and unwise to put up collateral or guarantee the debt of anyone else. If they cannot afford to borrow the money themselves, then you should not put yourself at risk. They need to wait until they can afford it. And verse 16. A gracious woman gains respect, but ruthless men gain only wealth. It is always best to be kind and have grace toward others. When you do, others will respect you. If you are not kind to others, then even if you are able to gain wealth, you'll be missing out on the blessing of also gaining respect. We have found so many nuggets on our trail for today. Take the time to savor them, to chew them slowly, to allow them to permeate your life. And I would challenge you as we are starting a new month to take the Proverbs 30-Day Challenge with me. For each day in June, read the chapter in Proverbs that corresponds with the day of the month. On the 30th day this month, read the final 2 chapters. I have made this practice a habit and I've repeated it every month for almost all of my adult life. And I can say without hesitation that this single habit has done more for me in gaining wisdom, insight, and understanding in life than any other single habit. In less than 5 minutes per day, you can take your daily wisdom supplements, and if repeated each day, will make you healthy, wealthy, and wise. It has certainly worked for me, and it will work for you also. Let me know if you've accepted my challenge at Guthrie@VentureCG.com. Our next trek will be Philosophy Friday, where I will begin a series on the seasons of life. So encourage your family and friends to join us, and then come along with us on Friday for another day of Wisdom Trek, creating a legacy. That will finish our trek for today. Just as you enjoy this dose of wisdom, we ask you to help us to grow Wisdom Trek by sharing it with your family and friends through email, Facebook, Twitter, or in person when you meet with them, and invite them to come along with us each day. And don't forget to subscribe to Wisdom Trek at iTunes, Spreaker, Stitcher, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, and Google Play so that each day's trek is downloaded to you automatically. The journal for today's trek is available at wisdom-trek.com. Thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide, your mentor, but most importantly, you are my friend, as I serve you through the Wisdom Podcast and Journal. As we take this trek together, let us always live abundantly, love unconditionally, listen intentionally, learn continuously, lend to others generously, lead with integrity, and leave a living legacy each day. This is Guthrie Chamberlain reminding you to keep moving forward, enjoy your journey, and then create a great day every day. See you on Friday.